Okay, so welcome to Behind the Wings. I'm Lizzie Maurer, and I'm the SAAC president.
I'm Chris Hoover. I'm the SAAC vice president, and we're here with our guest.
Simone Statham. I'm the assistant athletic director for external affairs.
Oh my, that's a long title.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, wow.
Well,
If you want my full title, I'll give it to you, but
We'll get into the full title later.
we will.
I love that.
Simone, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to get into the Fighting Falcons recap over the last 2 weeks. What we have to go over is that women's volleyball continued their season, suffering a loss to Concord, but they picked up a win against Salem later in the week. They took 2 tough losses against West Liberty and Point Park later in the week. Wrestling started their season strong at the Glenville State Invitational, where Colton Stoking placed 2nd, Tyler Wise placed 7th, and Aiden Pham placed 8th. In their match against Salem, they took home their first conference win of the season. Football took home a win against Concord on the home field and continued their win streak a week later on senior night, where the Falcons took a win against West Liberty. Derek Crosby was chosen as the MEC Player of the Week after he ran 221 yards on 31 carries and caught 2 passes out of the backfield for 34 more yards in the Falcons' 34-19 victory against Concord. Crosby's 221 rushing yards ranks 11th all-time on Fairmont State's single-game rushing charts. Men's and women's swimming took wins against both Davis and Elkins and Salem during their mental health awareness meet. Patrick Fubio and Zoe Hoover were selected as MEC Swimmers of the Week after Patrick picked up a win in each of his 5 events and Zoe picked up a win in her 4 first-place finishes.
All right, and women's soccer took a win against Point Park, and Valentina Ginetto earned her first MEC Player of the Week after she scored 2 goals and an assist to lead the Falcons to a pair of convincing wins. Gianetto was credited with an assist on one of 3 second-half goals for Fairmont State and a 4-0 shutout of Salem on Wednesday, before hammering home the tying and winning goals in a 3-1 win against Point Park. The team then fell short during their match against Frostburg State as they headed into their MEC tournament. The team won Game 1 against 3-seeded Concord, moving them to the semifinals game where they sadly lost to 1-seeded Charleston. I think I meant to write Charleston. That's on me. Men's basketball started their season at home during the Joe Retton Classic. They came out of the Classic with 2 wins against Bloomsburg and Edinboro. Women's basketball started their season off at the MEC PSAC Challenge in Lock Haven, Pennsylvania. They took their first loss of the season against Seton Hill, but quickly bounced back, winning against Lock Haven. They continued their season facing Ursuline and taking the win. Men's cross country was at the Atlantic Region Championships, where they placed 18th out of 21 teams. Billy DeMoss was a standout for the men, running a 10K in 31 minutes and 25 seconds. And women's cross country also attended the championships and placed 16th out of 22 teams. Carlina Jaquez placed 14th overall to lead her team. And that is the Fighting Falcons recap.
Amazing stuff.
I had a typo in there. I'm feeling upset with my skills. I even remember reading that typo, and I was like, I need to fix it. It's okay. I knew what I meant to say, which is the important part.
Well,
I got
But
the C right. That's all that matters.
I know it was a C. I'll get there. But they won again, or they took a loss against Charleston, not Concord. Tough luck, but all right. The interview. Are you ready?
Let's get it.
All right. So you're new to the Falcon family. Can you tell us about yourself and a little bit about your background?
So I'm born and raised in Maryland, Prince George's County to be exact. I played basketball my first 2 years at the University of Charleston and my last 2 years at Ottoson Broaddus. So this is a whole full circle moment being back in West Virginia. I actually met my husband at University of Charleston, so it's just like back in the MECs, full circle. Before here, I was at Trinity Washington University. I was the assistant director of athletic facilities prior to coming here. And yeah, that's how we got here.
Oh, that's awesome. So you're comfortable in that MEC. You've been here.
It's like deja vu. It's like,
yeah.
oh, wow.
Yeah, you're at another one.
Yes.
But
well, now you're just at the best school in the MEC.
Yeah,
No.
that's what we like to say.
I always say we never beat Fairmont at either school I was at. So it's like, oh,
what can
you
I
can't
say?
beat them, join them.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Chris, you want to?
Yeah, so can you explain what your job is and what you do here at Fairmont State for athletics?
Got you. So, like I said, I'm the assistant athletic director for external affairs and resource development, if you want to get deep into it. So I work with athletics department, but I'm housed in the foundation. So one of my primary roles is fundraising. So I work with a lot of the head coaches just to see what they need and how I can help them. So I reach out to different donors, try to see who matches with what, and just building those relationships. In the external affairs part, it's more so like the Hall of Fame events, the end of the year banquet, and just doing different community outreaches, building those relationships with everybody outside the community and stuff like that. So and anywhere else they need me. The
Yes.
other day I had to do the book, so I'm just all over the place.
Yeah, you do it all.
Yeah, I try.
That's awesome. I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't very familiar with
Yeah.
what all you did, but hearing what all you do, it kind of sounds like SAAC, but administrative.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, fundraising, community outreach. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
A lot of
like
fun.
our entire goals of SAC, and it's like
I knew I liked you guys.
I know we're a perfect match. I know, that's like really interesting, and it's a newer like. Did we have this position before you were here?
So no,
or-
this is actually
Okay.
the NCAA granted Fairmont State with the grant to
Oh,
have this
okay.
position. So it's a new position, first one to have this position. So it's kind of fun. It's like I get to make it my own.
Yeah,
That's so
So,
awesome.
yeah.
that's awesome. It's hard for me to imagine that we didn't have this position before with what you
Yeah.
were saying, but I mean, at least we have it now, and
Yeah.
you kind of spearhead the role and make it your own and figure out what that really means here at Fairmont State. So
Definitely.
that's really awesome.
And I look forward to seeing the impacts down the road
Yeah.
with that. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure there are already some that we're able to see, but just making those connections, strengthening those connections
Mhm.
can only have down the road lasting impact.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's a lot of
awesome. Kind of more generalized, but like, what is your favorite part about Fairmont State?
I think it's literally it being the friendly city. When I heard that that's what it's known for, I'm like, it makes so much sense. Like
Yeah.
coming here with no support. I lived in Maryland, grew up in Maryland. My whole family's in Maryland. So it's
So
like
it's-
we left the nest, and it's just like we still have that family atmosphere. Everyone takes my son in as their own. During
Oh,
the football
yeah.
games, he's running around. I'm like, I don't know where he is half the
But
time.
you know
but
he's safe.
he's safe. So I think that's my favorite part. Just everybody embracing me as I'm one of their own. And yeah, that's what I love about Fairmont.
I love that. That's been like
Absolutely.
everybody's response, and I just can't agree more. It's really awesome to know that that's an impact that's felt everywhere and
Mhm.
not just with certain people. Like, if you're watching this and you've never been to Fairmont, if
You're
you've
missing
seen
out.
all,
If there's nothing
I-
else you know,
missing
it's
out.
that we are the friendly city.
we are friendly and it's a great community here. But it's really interesting how most people we've interviewed have
Yeah.
had that same type of response.
It's like a hidden gem. No one knows about it.
Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely
Here.
hidden.
Absolutely. So I know you went into explaining what your job is, but what is one thing maybe specifically to that job that people might not realize that goes into it?
Just the relationship building. Of course, when you hear fundraising, you're thinking of, oh, she's like a saleswoman. She just
Mhm.
wants to get money. But it's a lot more than that. So, like, I'm about 4 months in, and a lot of the stuff I'm doing now is cultivation. I'm getting to know these donors.
Yeah.
I'm getting to know these alumni. Just introducing myself, getting to know them, getting to know about their time, their connection to Fairmont State. So I feel like it's a lot of relationship building. It's not just, hey, give me your money. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Yes.
It's like an ongoing thing because you want them to come back to campus. You want them to keep giving. You don't want them to feel like it's an obligation. You want them to be happy to, sow into the
Yeah.
student athletes and sow into the department. So just getting to know a lot of people, it's one of the things that people don't realize. That's a
Yeah.
big part of my job.
Yeah, and I feel like too, a lot of these people who are very generous donors and everything, they like to see the impact it has,
Definitely.
and it's more comfortable to come back and see like what's going on when they have those relationships built. So I think that's like a really important aspect that like you don't realize, and
Mhm.
also it's just like it makes them feel better about like where
Yeah.
their money's going in a sense. But like I'm obviously thank you to the donors. That's
Yes,
we
thank
can't.
you.
It's so important and.
Couldn't do it without you guys.
No, not at all. And I feel like we don't say thank you enough, in enough ways, I guess. So we're thanking you from the podcast. But those relationships are super important and vital to an athletics department. So I love that you brought that up. Oh, was it my question? I'm sorry. I'm not.
It's Friday. It's
I
raining.
know. It is raining.
Yes.
It's been so rainy, but that's okay. But the next question is a little bit broad, and it could kind of go anywhere, but what impact do you hope to leave on this university?
That's a good one.
I know. I told you it was a little bit deep.
So this actually based off of experience I just had. So we had our scholarship and stewardship banquet a couple weeks ago, and I met, she's the president of the alumni for Black Student Union. So I didn't
Mhm.
realize how much of an impact it was for me to be in this position.
Yeah.
I'm a young Black female, a part of the athletic department on administration. So
Yes.
I feel like I want to pour into little girls who look like me, girls period, and say, you can do this. Like, this
Yeah.
is a male-dominated industry, but you can do it. You can thrive. I just went to the Women Leaders Convention, and one of the main things they were talking about, women deserve to be in every room. Like, we
Mhm.
belong here. Women should be in every room that decisions are being made. So I just want to impact the younger generation, the young women,
Yeah.
the young athletes. Like, after sports, you can still leave an impact. Women's sports are going up. Like, women in athletics are going up. This is becoming the norm. So if anything, I want to show everybody that whatever you put your mind to, you can do it.
That's
love
amazing.
that. And I remember being really excited when I saw you got that job position. I was like, oh my gosh, like there's a woman in a leadership position. And like it's becoming more common, but it's cool to see it at like our smaller D2 university in like almost middle of nowhere, West Virginia. Not completely middle of nowhere, but
and it's real, because like that's why I have the utmost respect for Greg, because I remember it was like my first week or two, and he said, this is how I knew he was a great guy and he really wanted to see change. He said, I was tired of looking around the table and seeing people who only look like me. And so a lot of people might get offended by that. For me, I'm just like, wow, he's an advocate. He wants to see this growth. So that's why me and Greg like this. I have the utmost respect for him.
We love Greg. Obviously, he was on this podcast. But it is really awesome, and I just think it's so cool. Like, and I love that your response to like that question was you want to leave an impact on the little girls around you, because that's like that, I could cry about it if I talk too much, so I need to stop. But it's just awesome.
You feel squishy inside.
I know. I'm like, oh wait, that's so sweet. I love that.
So what is something thus far that you've been able to do in your current position that you are proud to say you've been able to do?
I'm sorry, we're hitting hard ones.
I think I helped strengthen the relationship in athletics with like the university and the foundation and stuff like that. I'm able to be in meetings that like Greg and Ryan, they're busy schedules, they couldn't be in or be as involved in. So I feel like athletics has more of a voice in more meetings now, in more rooms, just because I'm able to take the load off of them a little bit and just be a resource to speak for athletics, talk to the coaches, get their opinions, and take it back to the university, just so we have more of a say-so what goes on. Of course, everything gets run up the chain, but we're just able to be in more rooms and have more of opinion of what's going on around campus.
I love that, because that's even something that Lizzie and I and the rest of the SAAC members have had conversations about, is how do we make athletics not feel so disconnected from the rest of the university? We don't want to just be in the Feaster Center up at the top of the school and only coming down here for class. We want it to be that full community. Yeah. And so
especially me, I spend the least amount of my time in the Feaster Center. Like, so it's like I'm all over campus, and sometimes I just pop my head in the Feaster Center. I'm like, oh, I haven't been here in a while. So
maybe I should say hello.
Yeah, so I feel like that's good. Like, of course, I would rather be, more involved with the student athletes, so I have to go out my way to do that, which I'm going to do better at. But I feel like it has its benefits to it itself.
Yeah, I just think it's really important to have kind of like a liaison between, like, and somebody who can be there and like be that physical person, be like, oh, she's with athletics. If we have any questions or want to get athletes on board or like that type of thing, that's what
she's the one.
She's the one. And that's what we're really trying to focus on through like SGA and SAAC as a whole, and like getting that connection and making the university like a full community. Because it very much is, but like, how can we facilitate that even further? And it's really cool to see that from an administrative standpoint, that's happening. Yeah. So like we could do it too as athletes.
Definitely.
But I love that. So this one is going to be kind of not as difficult, but a little more fun. But what is one trend or development in sports that you're excited about and hope makes it to Fairmont? So like everyone watches women's sports, that brand and the Together brand with those T-shirts. Like that's an example that I kind of thought of that I thought would be cool to come to Fairmont. But like, do you have any specific ones?
It's crazy you bring that up, because I was just talking to someone on campus about everyone's watching women's sports. Our women's basketball team reigning champions, but you still hear people, of course, men's basketball team, and kudos to them, but
crazy.
But give the girls their flowers too. So just investing in women's sports, everyone's watching women's sports. I want to do that because, of course, I'm going to support the men, but I'm an advocate for the women, So I want to see the acro team, all the other women's sports, soccer team on that same pedestal people hold, football and other male-dominated sports. So that's a goal for mine, to just elevate the women's sports, get the women more involved and stuff. Starting an initiative with National Girls and Women in Sports Day. I talked to you guys about that. So just shining the light on the women. Like sometimes we deserve our flowers. We deserve a round of applause, and just showing the impact we make on the community. So that's one of my goals, lift women up.
Yeah. And I think that's like a huge development in sports currently. Like I know like the WNBA has seen like a huge uptick in viewers and people attending their games, and that would be awesome to see here at Fairmont State. Like that same idea that like we can get the same amount of people at a men's basketball game to a women's basketball game or a volleyball game and things like that. So it's really cool. And I've heard that from a lot of people around campus. Like, and our attendance is getting bigger for those women's sports, and it's growing. And like Acro hosting nationals, that was huge. That got a lot of people out here to learn about the sport. So it is a really exciting time in all of sports, and especially here at Fairmont State. So definitely a huge trend and development that I know we're both excited about. And Chris is over there smiling too, so I know he's hyped about it.
Sports, so
he loves women's sports. I mean, the men's and women's swim team is basically one big family.
One big family.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, Simone, what is just overall your favorite sport, and what is your favorite sport here at Fairmont State?
My favorite sport is basketball. I love to watch basketball. I was a basketball player, so now that basketball season's around, I'm like, yes, I'm finally in my zone. So I'm a basketball girl through and through. If you guys see me in the stands screaming, you don't know me. I get into it. My favorite sport here, I'm biased. I have to say football. You know, shout out to the D-line.
Yes.
But yeah, that's my favorite sport. It's not my favorite sport to watch, but I feel like I would get in trouble if I said another sport. So
I understand. Yeah, but it's been. I mean, you played basketball, so like I feel like you're kind of biased towards like liking the sport you do. So it's like you gotta love the sport you do.
But if I could choose a sport that I would change places with, it would be acro.
Yep.
It would definitely be acro. I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday, and I had on like one of the acro jackets that Danielle gave me. He asked me, he said, "Did you do acro in college?" I said, "I wish." I wish.
That's like the cop-out answer. It's a good answer, but it's the easy answer.
You're just mad it's not swim.
No, I don't think swimming would be a popular one to pick up. I would also say acro. I'm just saying I think it's the easy answer.
Well,
I want to be able to do a flip.
What they do?
It is. It's. I in my brain, because I do the sport. It's like I'm just going to practice and doing flips, and then I see new people come in and watch, and they're like, "What is going on?" They're covering their eyes, and I'm like,
you don't need to know what's going on at an acro meet to enjoy it. You need to have some idea of what's going on at football or any other game to know. But you guys just do cool flips.
Yeah.
And that's enough.
And you lift people up like it's nothing.
Yeah. It's like fun. I don't know. It's just so funny to hear people talk about our sport in this way. And it's like great that Fairmont has that sport. Like, and we're able to do acro here at Fairmont State. It's a huge sport in the MEC, but it kind of goes back to this idea that like we're developing women's sports and ensuring there's a place for all women in athletics. And coming from a gymnastics background, it's really difficult to do that. So it's really cool to say that like acrobatics and tumbling is like people think it's cool and like it is really cool. And I see that, but coming from an outside perspective, I'm
not doing all that.
I'm like, no. Like, it's fine. But, yeah, there's your little acro chat for the day. I don't know if we can get through a podcast without one. But if you could assemble a dream team for Fairmont State of any athletes from any time in history, who would make the cut? It could be like one or two, or if you got some favorites, just.
I don't even know the history of Fairmont like that. I'm learning.
It's okay. That was a hard one, too.
That is a hard one.
And you could just be, like, really broad, too. Just, like, any athletes ever from anywhere.
From any, like, school?
Anywhere. It could just be any, just any athletes. It could be, like, Simone Biles.
You're making the dream team.
Like, it's your dream team.
Oh, the dream team. And bring them to Fairmont.
Yeah, and bring them here.
Oh, okay. That's easier.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know my history of Fairmont State athletes.
Let's see. Any sport? Dream team athletes. LeBron James.
Yeah.
Simone Biles. So I feel like she can dunk if she really wanted to.
Yeah, I agree.
Who else? Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Angel Reese. I feel like they can adjust to add everything. And I would say for my last one, Saquon Barkley.
Okay. That's a solid list. I would like to see that group get together and try to like.
I feel like in any sport you put them in, they're like
gonna be
overall
fine.
athletes. They will be fine.
Yes. Like they would figure it out.
Yeah.
So now that's on your list of things to add for your job is to reach out to them.
And get them here, probably. Yeah. Because you got it. You're good at the relationship building. We talked about this. Like, you got it.
I'll just bribe them. It's okay.
Yeah.
So, what is one item or thing you can't live without no matter where you go?
My water bottle.
Yeah.
If you see me, I always have a purple water bottle.
Yep.
If it's not this one, it's my light purple one. Because I just never know how long I'm going to be gone from my office or my house. So
yeah.
I always have my water bottle with me. And my phone, of course. But
is it safe to say purple is your favorite color?
Purple is my favorite color. Most things you see I have, purple.
I love that. Chris also always has his water bottle with him. We
have
say
to stay hydrated.
we say it's not a SAAC meeting unless Chris has a Stanley. So
It's not.
Yeah, you have
so
to have it.
you fit right in there
Yeah.
again. So what is one bucket list item you like most want to do? So like top of your list, you want to get done in your lifetime.
I want to go to every single state.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I just counted the other day. I've been to 27 states.
Oh, you're over halfway.
So I have plenty of time. So that's a goal of mine, to hit every state.
What's your favorite state been?
I'd say Florida, just because I go to Florida all of the time. So
Yeah.
I guess that's my favorite state. It's easy getaway. Weather's nice.
Yeah.
So that's my
warm.
favorite state so far. Very warm.
Yeah, not warm here today.
No,
I
at
know.
all.
We all wish we were in Florida right now for that.
The weather right now, maybe not at
Yeah.
this very moment.
But
yeah.
yeah.
And-
Yeah.
Is there anything specific you want to do in each state, or is it just whatever that state has to offer?
I want to go to their hidden gems. So I like mom and pop shops, like
Yeah.
hole in the wall restaurants. That's my thing. So that, and just experience like their favorite pastime, like what they're known for. So that's my main thing to do at each state, not just driving and saying, oh, I'm here, but just
But,
to
like-
experience what it, like how they feel to live there.
Yeah, I like that a lot too because you don't really know like a town or a state if you're going to a tourist city
Yeah.
or something. So like finding those little like mom and pop shops, like you
The
said,
hole in the wall.
and like
Yeah.
West Virginia has so many of those because I'm not from here. So like I've found so many fun places.
Even me being from here, until I started to like
Really
go
look.
around the
Yeah.
state, you just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a fun one. You might have put that on my bucket list. Yeah, I think it's there.
All right. If you could create a playlist for Fairmont State game days, what are the top 3 songs you're putting in there?
Dreams and nightmares.
Yeah.
That gets me every single time. I don't really listen to music.
It's okay. I don't either.
Dreams and nightmares. That always gets me pumped.
And just that 3 times.
Just 3 times over.
If you play that on repeat,
She's hype.
I'm
We're ready to
hot.
She's
roll.
ready.
We're ready to roll.
She's
I'm ready to play.
Honestly, like one hype up song is kind of like enough for me. Like I don't listen to music kind of in the same way you do. So it's like I have my one song and I'm good, and then whatever else the team puts on, I'm like, oh yeah,
That's
great.
me. Like or my Apple Music. Like when I go to the gym, I'm like, hey, play Megan Thee Stallion radio.
And
like,
then you're like,
just
okay.
remix it for me. So
Yeah.
up Cardi B. That gets me.
Yeah,
That gets me going. Those are my 2 go-tos.
yeah. I mean, you got a solid set right there. It's not like you have to pick through any. Like you know where you need to go.
And usually Apple Music knows me well enough. Like,
That it'll tell you.
They can get me going.
Yes, I love that. So this next question is, if you could coach or do any other job at Fairmont State, what job would you pick?
I would say student athlete development.
Mhm.
So that was my focus in my master's program at University of Florida. So just like helping, well, I guess I can still do that now, but
Yeah.
it's not my title, but just helping student athletes realize there is life outside of sports and how to go about that. Cause it's a big transition.
Yeah.
For me, my transition was like when I finished college, COVID happened. So
It
that was a big life change for me.
Yeah.
And just imagine what it would have been anyway. So just giving them the tools and the keys to success, like how to make a budget, how to go look for a job, how to build a resume, just stuff
Yeah.
like that, and how to handle the mental aspect of it. It's tough. Like people don't realize how much sports and athletics consume your life as a college
Yeah.
student. So like when you get out, it's like a huge adjustment. It's like, who am I? Like sometimes you get imposter syndrome because it's like,
Yeah.
I've been this all my life. Now I'm supposed to be a regular person and go work.
And like,
so
how do I do that? Yeah.
how do I do that? So that would be another thing I would do. I don't think
Yeah.
I would coach.
Yeah.
I tried that. It's not my thing.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
I don't think that's my thing. But I'm big on supporting and helping and uplifting. So I feel like that would be something I would look into.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're about to hit our token Mike Davis mention.
Mhm.
I love that you mentioned that because that is something even Lizzie and I have discussed with him. He is so adamant on the coaches he picks, the administration he brings
Yeah.
in, that is a pivotal part of their job,
Yeah.
is the development of student athletes.
Yeah,
We're here
definitely.
for more than just our sport. We are going to live after this. That
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so important to him.
Well, and I think he instills those, like the pillars that Coach Barker was talking about last episode,
Mhm.
but just like, yes, you're going here to get an education and be a student athlete, but like, what are you learning life-wise
Right.
while you're here? Are you learning to live on your own? Are you learning to like get your degree and find out how to figure out where you're going to work next and just figure out your life? And I think Dr. Davis does a really good job at that and
Mhm.
supporting all students through those struggles and like figuring that out. So I love that you brought that up because we met with Dr. Davis and that was like a big thing we talked about. So
Yeah.
And we have to meet our quota for the episode.
yeah, our quota every episode, one Dr. Davis mention.
All right. We're about to run into the final 4 speed round questions until you make Lizzie upset on the third one and she interjects.
Uh-oh,
Yeah.
here we go.
Okay. What's your favorite food?
Pasta.
Yeah.
What kind of pasta?
Alfredo, tortellini, chicken Alfredo.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Good answer. Good answer. All right. When your kids are watching kids' TV shows, what is one that you can lock in with them on?
Bluey.
Oh, same.
We guessed
I
it.
agree.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I don't watch football. I don't care about football. So I choose to make my husband happy and the Eagles.
Detroit Lions. Thank you.
What's your go-to coffee order?
I'm not really a coffee person, but I did have coffee this morning. I have it like once a week. I went to Dunkin' Donuts. I got an iced coffee, the white chocolate with the cookie butter cold foam.
I love the cookie butter. It's so good.
Yeah, but I don't really drink coffee like once a week.
Have you ever been to the Joe in downtown Fairmont?
I have not.
That
We're taking
will get you on to coffee. I was not a coffee drinker until then, and I love it.
You
And
drink
they-
regular coffee or hot coffee?
Hot coffee every day of the
I
week.
can't get with hot coffee.
I do
Little
cold
cappuccino.
coffee. I have a cold coffee right over there.
Like I
They
can do ice. I
do-
can't do hot.
They do iced coffee as well. I like my little cappuccino.
And they have really good breakfast tacos.
They do. And breakfast
So
sandwiches.
good.
Breakfast tacos.
Yeah, you're going to have to.
I might be sold.
Lunch
Yeah,
break.
I
Lunch
know.
break today.
I
Lunch
know.
break today.
I might be sold.
It's so good. But that wraps up our interview portion. That was super fun, and it was interesting to get to know you. And I hope everybody who's watching can get a better insight as to what your role is, and excited that you're here and
Yes.
help you build those relationships by getting to know
Definitely.
you in this aspect. But we are now going to move on to our upcoming events. On November 18th, women basketball is against Cal PA at home. November 20th, still women's basketball, and it is versus Malone at home. November 21st through 23rd, women's volleyball is at their MEC tournament. Also, November 21st through 23rd, men's and women's swim at Malone Invitational. November 21st, wrestling at West Liberty. November 23rd, men's and women's basketball at West Virginia Wesleyan. November 24th, wrestling at Seton Hill Tri-Match. And November 26th, men's and women's basketball versus Davis and Elkins at home. So that is our upcoming events, and now we get to announce our Falcons of the week. So last week we had Colton Stone King from wrestling and Zoe Hoover from swimming. This week we have Carlina Jaquez from women's cross country and Nate Pelski from the wrestling team. So congratulations to those 4 athletes. We are super excited that you're showing Falcon Pride and showing everybody what it truly means to be a Fairmont State athlete.
So yes, with that, we're gonna wrap up the episode. Simone, is there any last words you want to leave everyone with?
Go Falcons.
Yes.
Let's Falcon go. So we want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the break. Make sure you follow our athletics Instagram at FS Falcons and our SAAC Instagram at at Fairmont State _SAAC. Be sure to catch us back here on December 2nd with our next guest. Oh wait, maybe not a next guest.
It might just be
me and Lizzie
Chris.
yapping.
You'll have to see.
But be sure to catch us back here on December 2nd, and don't miss what's going on behind the wings. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.